Yesterday, I announced the resumption of classes if conditions permit. Hundreds of students responded to the announcement. Unfortunately, classes could not be held as we had hoped. I am now convinced that only if the barricades are removed and the buildings vacated would it be possible to resume normal academic activity.
It was spontaneous and it was triggered by a Marcos man, a Marcos loyalist, killing an activist. And, you know, we had already had 1 year, isang taon na from January 1970, na ng mga student protests. At ang nagsispread ng student protests, hindi lang among students, kundi among workers and farmers.
Of course, as soon as the barricades came up after the first provocation, yung unang pasok ng militar at nag-react yung community doon by putting up more barricades.
Doon mas makikita mo yung kompleto mga basta lahat ng mga aktibo sa student council members na gustong mag-contribute ay nandun sila. Yung mga organizations, mass organizations, Scout, SDK, engineering, kasama-sama engineering groups, medical, nandun sila.
Because ang pagkamatay ni Messina was triggered the whole thing. Yeah, it was not just because we were stopping the transportation because of the jeepney strike. Hindi lang yon. Ang isa talaga doon is because we wanted to, have, not to avenge, but to have a condemnation rally on the death of Messina.
Pinabantay din namin yung mga balita mula sa Marcos regime, mga balita ng movements, ng mga Metrocom, and all that. Pero in the end, ang malaking factor bukod sa external situation, yung sitwasyon sa loob ng campus mismo. Yung kahandaan, kakayanan ng mga estudyante na ituloy o hindi na ituloy, yun ang decisive factor sa paggawa ng decision.
At siyempre, nung nakita namin, lalo kami nagkalit, And when SP Lopez saw that, nagulat din siya. Kasi all the while, he thought the agreement between the University of the Philippines and the police was still standing, na makakapasok lamang sila sa campus kapag mayroong kasunduan. And since it was a clear violation of that agreement, agitated na yung mga estudyante.
Si SP Lopez went actually to the mayor's office and then sa police station and then the city hall and talagang kinausap si Mayor Norberto Amoranto.
Sa ibang sabi, malapit ang koordinasyon sa communication natin ng Diliman Commune Directorate sa UP Administration.
It will be recalled that upon my intercession, the Quezon City Police and the Metrocom withdrew from the campus last Wednesday evening in order to give the university community a chance to solve the problem arising from the present emergency.
Well, they were negotiating with us. We were the ones in power. Sa totoo lang, we were the ones in power, hindi sila. Nag-shift yun eh. Nag-shift. SP Lopez was like, okay, we need to meet with the head of the student council. Anong issue nyo? Anong demands nyo? Anong gusto nyo?
Yung leadership ni SP Lopez na isang writer, isang critic, di ba? Ay humanist, ganyan. Naiintindihan niya ang mga estudyante. Hindi sila gumamit ng kamay na bakal.
Napakalaki ang pressure sa kanya ng Malacanang. Ang tingin ng Malacanang, ano na yan, dapat hindi na pwedeng magtagal kahit isang minuto yung nangyayari na yan. Tigilan mo yan, President Lopez, no? So kumbaga, nasa gitna siya ng nagbabangga ang, ano yung figure of speech na yun? Dalawang nagbabangga ang malaking bato.
Ang natandang ko lang sinabi ni President Lopez nung nagsalita siya sa harap ng mga students, I would rather lose 100 tables and chairs rather than one human life.
Yung posisyon ni SP Lopez bilang presidente na kailangan kinakailangan tiyakin ang kaligtasan ng mga estudyante sa kanilang ginagawa.
I have tried to bring together all the sectors of the community, students, faculty, administrative personnel, and residents to help me take positive steps to restore peace and order while maintaining the freedom and integrity of the university as an academic community. Unfortunately, our efforts to this end have proved unavailing.
And I remembered Senator Benigno Aquino. He came to Diliman, and I was one of those who met with him. You know, when he entered through the university place, he wanted to come in and negotiate with us.
Payapa, walang mga kaguluhan. Nangunguna ang babaeng senador, si Eva Estrada Calao. Nung ko lang siya nakita in person. Pero sandali lang, usap-usap, ayun, in-announce na meron ng kasunduang nangyari sa pagitan ng mga leader ng mga estudyante at saka sila. Okay? Nagkaano na sila, kasundo na, ititigil na nila.
Nung criticize si President Lopez, ang position namin the academic freedom of the university should be respected by the authorities. Yung mga pulis hindi naman kaagad pumasok hanggang nag-decide sila after I think 2 or 3 days. Nag-decide sila na dapat ma-disperse na ang mga ito.
Meanwhile, the police authorities are insisting that they have a duty under the law to take action with respect to what they claim is the increasing incidence of crime in the campus during the emergency. They have declared that they would enter the campus and remove the barricades by force if necessary. To this, I am unalterably opposed.
Until when namin ipapananatilin? Kasi we knew that we could not keep up the barricades forever. At some point, we had to say, this is it. And noong nagkaroon na ng usapan sa administration na there was not going to be any charges brought against the students, yung ganong paglilinaw, at nagkasundo rin na yung mga hinihinging reforms ng estudyante ay muling haharapin, etc. Eventually, the directorate decided na on the 9th day ay tatapusin na siya. So that was it.
Wala namang question doon na hindi tatalunin ng Molotov cocktail ang AK-40, ang M14 na rifle pagka ginamit sa iyo. In other words, what did we know about warfare? In fact, if the military and police had really decided to clean out the university, I think they would have been able to do so pretty easily.
Looking back now, we could have never protected ourselves. because they really started shooting towards the end. You knew that, no? They shoot live bullets to us, yeah.
Generally, ang students din, and of course, pressure din from our parents, no? Na medyo matagal na yung ginagawa ninyo. Do you really find this as a concrete solution to whatever demands and problems that you may have?
Binalikan ko ang kasaysayan, yung 7 demands na interrupt public demands. Kasama doon sa consideration namin na ititigil ng Diliman Commune. And some of those demands were granted, in fact.
Well, I think for those people who participated in the commune, things became very personal. We felt that our lives were literally at risk at any given moment. And so our presence there was a very personal statement.
I remembered we cried. Umiyak talaga kami kasi, you know, we knew it was coming.
So, yung threat niya to resign was understandable. Pinakamahalaga sa kanya na maiwasan ang unnecessary losses of lives, unnecessary sacrifices, and to avoid violence sa campus. Maliwanag, ginagaling natin yung kanyang concern. But again, ang decision to terminate eventually, to leave and to terminate the Diliman Commune was based initially on our own judgment, principle and our judgment of what is in the best interest of UP students saka UP community.
If therefore the barricades are not removed and the police forcibly enter the campus, I shall be constrained to resign. I cannot in conscience sanction any police action which would violate the freedom and integrity of the university and result in serious loss of life and destruction of property. I therefore address an earnest appeal to the students to remove the barricades at once.
Basta nung sinabi sa amin na alisin ang barikada, nag-initiative na kanya-kanya.
Hindi ito nabigo. Sigurado yan. Ang pagtingin ko ngayon, malaki ang nakamit ng Diliman Commune.
Resistance. It's about resistance, yeah? But what I'm saying is that the significance of the Diliman Commune was resisting the dictatorship.
So, nakatulong yun sa pagpukaw sa bayan sa pagkilala ng essential weakness ng Marcos regime. Na kahit na outwardly, maliit lang force natin compared sa military force. Pero basta just ang demands, just ang position, may public support, hindi ka masusupil ng regime Marcos.
That is an opportunity. So for me, the act of demonstrating, the act of forming picket lines, the act of protesting, the act of being in UP is a reward by itself. So it's not only a tool or an instrument, but it is a reward by itself, because I believe that in every Filipino's heart is the desire to make his country better.
Pwede mo sabihin yung magpapakabayani ka sa isang banda, no? At itong paraan yung hinarap sa iyo ng panahon yun.
Paaralan siya tungkol sa panlipunan ng katotohanan. Naging paaralan siya para makita ng lahat na maraming dapat baguhin sa lipunang Pilipino, lalo na para doon sa mga sektor na naghihirap. Magsagawa, magsasaka, mangingisda, maralit ang tagalunsod, no?
Sumakit ang aking dibdib nung ako'y nagtatanong kung naalala nila kung alam nila si Marcos at ang martial law. Hindi nila alam. So hindi naging ganun ka-effective, no? Ang ating historical narratives about the past.
One thing I think the Filipinos need to do is to remember, kasi they tend to forget and they tend to be easily swayed by this and that. What is the current narrative?
Kailangan tayo mag-review palagi. As far back as the Philippine Revolution of 1896, as far back as our prehistory, para makilala natin ang ating sarili. At para mai-chart natin kung paano tayo tutungo at kung saan tayo patutungo at paano tayo pupunta roon.
Yung Diliman Commune ho ay ito ho ang nagpataas ng antas ng pag-uunawa sa mga nauupres. Ito ho yung para sa amin. Ito ho yung parang nagsindi ulit dun sa revolutionary movement na natitira ho, na carry over ho mula sa katipunan.
Naniniwala rin kami na kahit papano ay the younger generation will be up to their own challenges, no? Ika nga, every situation creates a new problem, but it also creates new solutions. And yung mga estudyante na mulat in unity with other oppressed sectors in our society, hopefully will also be able to effectively respond to the new challenges of the times, no?
It's something that I cannot wish on another generation of young Filipinos, but at the same time, I know that these coming generations of Filipinos will have to face their own barricades at some point. Maybe not literal barricades, but they will have to learn how to question, how to resist if necessary, and not simply accept what they are told because somebody says this is the right way to think.
The same fight that we did 50 years ago still exists today, and that is really, I think, really the most staggering recognition of the failure of governance in our country. We may not have the barricades anymore, but we do have, summary killings of activists just the same.
Pag bumigay tayo doon sa kalayaang akademiko na sinisira nito mga ayaw makarinig ng pagpuna at gustong masunod ang kanilang mga gusto at makinabang na gusto sa kanilang pwesto, hindi na naman nangyayari ngayon. Nako, wala na, mawawalan na ng saysayang ang pag-iral ng universidad. Kaya hindi pwede natin yung tigilan.
Hindi tayo aabante, hindi tayo, kung tayo lang, mga aktivista, ang kikilos. Lagi tayong magiging minorya, ika nga, minority. Diliman Commune, ganun din. Kung tayo lang ang kikilos.
We still have to find ourselves as a people. But the commune, just like EDSA after it, gave us a brief shining moment that showed how far we could go, how much we are willing to risk ourselves, our lives, and our future for what we believe in. and that also sometimes, you know, we will actually survive these trials.
Sa balikat ang nagdaan, anong hirap bawat daan, kumikitid ang pangarap na naiwan, bawat lubak na hakbangan nalalansag sa hinaga. Ang tahanan,
anong buong ko malayo sa digmaan at sigalot na madugo, saang sulong magtatagpo, nagisnalat na limot na pangako, bawat hubog na itayo ay bubong lang na nabulok sa pagsuko.
Papasalin ang pataw mo hanggang saan? Ako hanggang kailan? Lalakbayin ang kalbaryo hanggang kailan? Ako walang hanggang paglikas hanggat aninong maiiwan sa pagalis, bawat daan tatalilis ang kuyong na pagdaramdam at hinagpis, isasakdal lang ng gahis na berdugo ng digmaan. Ano